Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary. I'm going to send a shout out to all of my early risers. This early day, as I'm moving about in the early day, I have lots of tasks, lot to do today. And as I'm about to do my toenails, and before I go to prepare some food and perhaps go to capoeira, I just had some thoughts as I've read a few of the comments on my page and social media. So the thought, the contemplation this early day is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a term many of us may have become more familiar with. And I would love to know what folks think in the comments. Have you observed or have you experienced that women with locks are gaslit? So you can look up the term gaslighting. There is a movie, a classic black and white movie that you can see about gaslighting. In general, it's a term that refers to crazy making or mental manipulation, somebody making you uh, think that something is not going on that is going on. I think there are layers to it, but it's something that I have observed with interactions with social media in general. So if you're new to the channel, welcome on Body Culinary. I am a professional chef, a personal trainer with a focus on whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods, foods that love you back and don't leave waste on your waistline. On this channel, I love to encourage peaceful consumption. What that looks like for me is consumption patterns centered around fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes. You'll have to find what that sweet spot is for you. I prefer the benefits of whole living foods, what they have done for me in terms of my skin and energy level. I just like to consume peacefully. So I am not here to judge or label anybody. You will have to find your own sweet spot on your journey. I also love to encourage gardening, some kind of gardening, whatever space you're in, big or small, because it is so deeply therapeutic, as well as it is food security, right? And it can really increase your comprehension. Also love to encourage folks to begin or activate a personal movement practice. And you're welcome to join me in the early day or on my channel on the website for a movement practice, which is usually at least 40 minutes of hit it and quit it. A nice little Tootsie Roll of cardio, flexibility, and strength. You don't really need any equipment. And you can get wonderful results at home, right? Which you can do consistently, which is really important in making some tangible deposits into the 401k of your body. So if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at body-coloring.com. There are some resources I've put there for people to have lots of questions about whole living unprocessed foods as a lifestyle. You can find that Whole Living Foods in the Hood Part 1 with menus to fit your budget, lots of visuals and pictures and budgets and different spending plans and ideas, some ideas on what you may some things you may have not thought of in terms of things you can prepare with whole, fresh, living foods. And for those folks that are wondering how I cleared up all of that acne, there is what I put together. You can also see before my fine hair locked. That's natural beauty, no products. That is on the website. You can find both of those resources. So I just wanted to let you know that those things are available. Those are available, and I put those together thinking of all the questions that I get from people. So do avail yourself of that on the website. Okay. Now, that being said, feel free to like and comment if you like. If you find some value here, you're welcome to do that on this channel. Now, that being said, I really got to thinking this early day, whether or not we are gaslit, right? Well, folks, the simplest way I can put it is folks asking you a question uh, or very leading questions with a particular motivation in mind. It's actually manipulative, and I don't know if many people are conscious or aware that they're doing it because they're just um, a lot of the ways of communicating are social habits. And I think it's so common that we often don't really even, it doesn't even really come up. I don't think we're really it's so slick that I don't know if all the time. So this gaslighting, what do I mean by this? First of all, I want to say that put it out there. I do not own YouTube, but I'm very comfortable in my skin, and it's something I'm very protective of. And there's some social habits where people will ask us, in particular, it's not limited to men, but a lot of men will ask us questions, where you're going, ask you very personal questions. And I think it is a social habit. We're used to just answering and being polite. Now, I am not anti man. Let me just say that, right? I'm a mother, I have son, I'm not. However, if I tune into my intuition, something is makes me uncomfortable. So let me say, first of all, I do not like to be approached by men on the internet, strangers, folks with avatars or with pictures. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I sit and observe my thoughts and the whys. I observe a lack of comprehension. And there are either two things I want to be very clear. Either someone has a lack of awareness, either they are not aware or they don't care. And this might be a gem for a father or some men folks out there, and as well, definitely as for women and young women. Either somebody is unaware and they don't care. A woman's priority is her safety, her physical safety, mental and emotional safety from being manipulated out here. That just is what it is. I'm totally unapologetic about my safety and the safety of the women and the children in my periphery. So I'm unapologetic. I'm not having any conversations. I'm not asking any permission. I'm a peaceful, loving fruit and vegetable eater. If I don't prefer to wear makeup, if I want to wear makeup, I'm going to put it on. If I felt like putting a wig on, I would put a wig on. If I wanted to eat meat, I would do that. So let me make myself extremely clear for those folks coming to this channel. I'm not interested in anybody's religion. I'm not interested in anybody's philosophies. I'm just not interested. It's not up for debate or discussion. So that being said, I notice, and perhaps it's not even limited to locks, but I notice definitely with locks, or should a woman decide to experience her body parts unshaven, her underarms, there is a perception of a lack of care for herself. And I think there's a perception that you don't have to approach with any kind of boundaries, respect, or investment or protocol. And I find it extremely distasteful. I find it a turn off. It's an extreme triggering, potentially triggering turn off. What does that look like? Because I've had some of my younger folks ask me, what does that look like? That looks like you don't know me and you refer to me as baby. I find it really, it's a turn. That's the best way I can describe it. It is a turn off. I'm very well aware that there's a lack of training or healthy training, because many folks take their cues from popular media and popular music, a lot of rap music. I do not like it. Some folks like it. I don't think I carry that energy, but let me make it very, very clear. I do not respond to men asking me personal questions about my romantic life, my romantic interests, my personal whereabouts on the internet. Um, yeah, young women, you'll have to find your way. But if you feel into your intuition, common sense, and safety, it's just, I don't see how it could pan out to anything that is viable. Anyone that bypasses a vetting process, and I've mentioned vetting, and this is beneficial to women and men, whatever your age is. The way this social media is set up, it is monetized. It is monetized. This is not a big money maker. It could be for some people that turn it into a career. This is not a career for me. So the way of interacting with the screens, the entity that is garnering the most payout from this are the owners, right? The ones that mine the data and collect the data from the topics that we're talking about, the types of products that we're interested in. The more time that we spend on these screens, it is monetized. So that's number one. I think that's very important for us to know. As Afro people, I'm not the advocate for Afro people. I'm not the martyr, and I have no illusions that I am the savior. I'm not about to lie myself down on the altar and accept all kinds of inappropriate questions or conversations because I have locks and because I choose not to wear a lot of makeup. So I do not like to be approached with personal questions without a vetting process of who you are. We're used to engage. These are ghosts and strangers on the internet. So it definitely says something for the times that we're living in. It is now a way to quote unquote meet people, but you're not meeting people. You can get information, perhaps some education and share. However, it says something, and I'm not making it bad or wrong about our need for connection, that something is missing in terms of connection. Because if we're staying on these screens, enamored by these screens for long periods of time, it's saying something. This is one of the reasons why I love the early day, the quiet of the early days, so you can unpack your thoughts and the motivations for your mental conditioning, right? That is driving your behavior, right? And then also, I've recommended folks in the cocoon know this in the early day in our cocoon coaching. I'm very well aware that nothing is done without a reason, and quite often, what is being tapped into is a part of our mental conditioning and our mental processing. That is fear based, that all human beings have it. You can look it up, the 5 or the 7 basic fears that are being tapped into in milliseconds, bypasses all logic on these computer screens. So it is being manipulated. It's very crafty, right? And I'm not saying this as a victim, I'm just saying this from a victim perspective, just from a level of awareness. So even appetites or insecurities are manipulated on this internet. People are looking for a connection and it is monetized. That's the simplest way I can put it. All that said, that's for folks to figure out on their own. I'm not interested in baby. I'm not interested in religion. I think it's really interesting that folks would have logs and religious and quotes psalms and scriptures and all this information. Greetings, greetings, and come at you with a lack of protocol. So that says to me an intention of of pandering to my ego, making the assumption that I'm enamored with wisdom and knowledge and rhetoric. I do think I'm decently experienced in patterns of communication, and I pay attention to patterns. I definitely think it's something for women to be aware of, these ways that we are interacting. A lot of our very human desires and needs are manipulated on this internet, and some of us put ourselves out there, whether it's for business or trying to garner money or generate income. I'm not making it bad or wrong. I think many of us in younger years and in experience sometimes don't realize the full magnitude of what we're getting into or how we're allowing ourselves to be exploited. It's a principle, just like with the music, the fast money sometimes, or the different things that are being offered to us to make money. I think definitely we're not thinking long term of the intangible cost mentally and emotionally that's coming to us. So all is shortcut to say it doesn't appear that women with locks, in particular, if your hair is perceived, right, the message we're conveying, perceived, or if it's a common perception, that if women with hair that is not twisted, not oiled, it may be perceived as ungroomed, uncared for. It may come across as a message that there are no men folks in your life. It may appear that there's no protection or there are no consequences for coming into your personal space. So, got me to thinking like, not so fast, not so fast. Um, and I've done experimentation, and I've mentioned before, I've done experimentation for years when it comes to my food, my fitness, and also in my communications with folks in terms of how you're treated, your presentation, if you're in business, just basic human behavior, the human psyche. What causes people to do what they do? What causes folks to stimulate folks to approach you with a sense of respect and with a sense of protocol? So, whether I like it or not, let me be very clear, makeup can be a tool, right? Quite often, although we may love the look, folks may want to find intimately or sexually attractive the look. Locks, particularly freeform and semi-freeform, unless it's deemed exotic, and even then, I don't see that there's a perception that women with locks, or even men with locks, but I'm a woman, are approached with respect, with a level of offering investment, financial investment, taking on really nice, outings. I like nice things. I like travel. I like land. I like beautiful clothing and things. So I think perhaps, and I'm noticing this with the lack of a protocol and the lack of respectful interaction. There seems to be no again, either no awareness or no careness, no aware or no care, right? That folks will approach you without a need for an introduction or any kind of formality. That I'm not feeling. So, this is why I encourage folks to sit on the throne of your own existence, use your intuition, and when you are perceiving something, to in the quiet hours to unpack it so you can notice how you're moving and how people are reading you, even if that's not your intention. I think that's a really important skill set to understand how folks are approaching you. So this can be on the whole spectrum, whether you have locks, two locks, kanganati, whether your skirt is all the way down to the floor, or whether you have your skirt comes to uh, the top of your knee. This is women's choice. We are crafting a message. And so it's for you to craft it the way you want to craft it. What is your desired result? Is respect in there, as well as money, investment, offering, protection, So anyway, all that to say, long-winded to say, I'm not feeling this is not a dating site, neither is Facebook or Instagram, at least not for me. But I notice a lack of protocol into any of the masculine energies that come onto this page. I find it an extreme turn off when I'm approached on the internet. That is not the way to garner a woman of quality's attention. And perhaps it's not my responsibility to educate strangers about how to approach people. Now, that being said, I have created a couple of videos called way back called internet etiquette for men, because I get a lot of folks that haven't had training. Folks are welcome to avail themselves of those videos. So let me know what you think in the comments. And the men folks that come here, what kind of protocol do you have in place? Is it something you've ever given thought to? Because as a woman, it occurs to me either you're not aware, and or you don't care about how you are approaching. And it seems to come from a place of um, insecurity, or not knowing, or just not caring, or maybe perhaps just taking all your cues from online. So I'm about to get into my day. Yes, I'm going to get into my lovely day, prepare some beautiful food. Yes, I'm going to put some lovely toenail polish on because that's what I want to do. So do you. If I'm moving natural and no makeup, that's because that's what I want to do. That's what I enjoy. And I like respect and protocol, and not to be approached on social media about my personal life. I don't like it. So that's with great respect and care that I put that out there. I'm inviting you all to create a great day on purpose, just because you said so. And I'm inviting you to feed yourself the most beautiful, nutrient rich, water dense, electrical, life energy filled fuel that is available to you. Take advantage of those resources on body-culinary.com, and I will see you soon.